Alyse Parker, formerly Raw Alignment, tried the carnivore diet for 30 days. As she says in the title, she used to be vegan. That's not entirely accurate. She wasn't just like vegan, eating like a normal vegan diet. She was low-fat, raw vegan, eating almost exclusively fruit. Then she moved to eating, cooked vegan foods as well, but still eating like high-carb, low-fat, little protein. By the time she decided to incorporate animal products back into her diet, she was eating a higher fat vegan diet that was still very low in calories and still very restrictive. Going by the What I Ate Today videos that she was uploading at the time, she was eating like the same few foods every day. Raw Alignment still has videos like these up and monetized where she eats a very restrictive diet with very little calories. It's mostly avocado, crackers, green juice, and salad. And she still has all of those old videos up on her channel and monetized, by the way. There's no evidence that Alyse ever even attempted a normal, balanced vegan diet. And I don't say that because I think that if she had eaten a less restrictive, less extreme, nutrient sufficient vegan diet, that she'd still be vegan. The truth is that most people don't stay vegan, particularly people who are obsessed with their health like Alyse. I'm bringing this up because number one, she never does, even in her video where she admits to no longer being vegan, she never cops to eating so restrictively, and that maybe eating such a poor vegan diet could have something to do with her feeling so poorly. Like so many ex-vegans who also ate just terribly, she acts as though she did everything right and the vegan diet just doesn't work for her. There are absolutely people who struggle on a vegan diet who do everything right and they still struggle. I talked about this recently, but there's no evidence that Alyse or Bonnie Rebecca or any number of these other people, Tim Sharif, is that his name? There's no evidence that that's what these people were doing. To the contrary, the evidence is clear that they were not eating appropriately, vegan or not. And the second reason I'm bringing this up, her restrictive vegan diet that she was previously on, is that I think this is indicative of who Alyse is, particularly given the current video on being carnivore for 30 days. She is clearly obsessed with health, with dieting, with challenging herself, as she puts it. More on that later. Quite frankly, it's just disturbing. It's disturbing that she continues to put this kind of content on her channel, promoting extreme dieting in the guise of open-mindedness and just trying to find what works for her. Look at this comment. A 14-year-old was getting diet advice from someone who changes her diet constantly and seemingly hasn't eaten a balanced meal in years. But it's fine because Alyse isn't claiming to have everything figured out. It's just her own personal journey. If they admit that the diet is bad, then they also have to admit that promoting said diet via What I Ate Today videos and the like is also bad. Assuming they don't want to do bad things, they would then have to remove a fair number of their videos, these videos that are promoting said bad diet, or at the very least demonetize them. They're not going to do that because number one, money, let's be honest, and number two, by admitting that the diet is bad, they would also have to admit to themselves that they have promoted a bad diet to thousands and thousands of impressionable people, a lot of them very young people. So I'm not surprised by this video at all. I wouldn't be surprised by any of these extreme vegan dieters becoming extreme, carnivore dieters, particularly when we're talking about Alyse. I mean, remember when it was toxic mold that was causing all of her problems? I already have a video on the carnivore diet and why it's so dumb, so I'm not really going to go into detail here, but I do want to point out something that Alyse does when she is talking about the supposed benefits, health benefits of a carnivore diet that people should really be aware of, particularly because she's not the only one who does this. A lot of the health gurus on YouTube do this in order to make their videos, more flashy and seem more authoritative or more legit.
While this diet may seem to be absolutely crazy, there are actually many reasons why someone would willingly choose to eat this way. It has been shown to help relieve the symptoms from many illnesses such as autoimmunity, fatigue, obesity, inflammatory diseases, and more. There are a few theories on how eating only animal foods can be surprisingly helpful for one's health. Essentially, the carnivore diet is a form of an elimination diet, which means that it removes all common food sensitivities from the picture. There's also the factor of cutting out all carbs, meaning that your body drops into ketosis, which has been linked to benefits like enhanced mental clarity, rapid weight loss, and better digestion. You may be wondering, but what about the body's nutritional needs? Won't you lack some of the necessary vitamins and minerals that a more balanced diet can provide? Well, actually, most of the advocates for the carnivore diet claim that meat contains all of the vitamins and minerals that your body needs to not only survive, but to thrive.
So you probably saw what I'm talking about. During that about 1 minute or so of footage, she makes a bunch of different claims and shows us a bunch of different images, but none of them are useful. Most of them are just stock footage, and the ones that support what she says are not authoritative sources. She's not quoting the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics or any sort of health organization. She's not even quoting like a random study. This image in particular comes from perfectketo.com, where they are nice enough to sell you a keto starter bundle for $140. Oh, actually, it's on sale for $112. What a steal. The actual evidence on ketosis on keto diets is not so impressive. Both low-fat and low-carb typically perform equally well in terms of weight loss, body composition, and insulin sensitivity. And there are still a lot of unanswered questions. We don't know how safe being in ketosis long-term actually is. But of course, Alyse is not just talking about a keto diet. She's talking about a carnivore diet, which is just animal products. It's even more extreme. And yet she mentions none of the potential problems and provides no evidence whatsoever that this is safe. But she's on a journey, guys, so it's fine.
So out of all of the things to try in the world, why am I choosing to eat meat for 30 days straight? You guys know that I love challenging myself, and actually since I've been on social media, I have shared and documented so many challenges. I have gone 30 days without washing my hair. I've gone a full year without using deodorant. I have gone off of social media for 30 days and documented that. I've tried juice cleanses, water fasting, so many different things. I've come to learn that with the more I experience, the more I can relate to people in all facets of life. And coming from a history of being vegan for almost 5 years, I know very well what it's like to lose myself in the identity of a diet culture and to lose true open-mindedness.
So this is something she repeats throughout the video. I think it's how she kind of justifies this whole thing, probably to herself, honestly. She's not constantly moving from diet to diet, from juice fast to meat only. She's challenging herself. She's being open-minded. She's connecting to other people. I sound really snarky because it's obviously ridiculous, but it does make me really sad for her, which is hard. You know, honestly, her "I'm not vegan anymore" video made me kind of mad. I wasn't a viewer of hers or anything, but the way that she kind of spoke to her fans, the way that she handled people being really upset that someone who they looked up to and saw as a vegan YouTuber was no longer vegan and seemingly hadn't been for a while and hadn't said anything, people were obviously upset. And the way that she handled it was like, well, I never said that this was a vegan channel.
I also wanted to clear up the thought or the perception that I am about to ruin or have been ruining my business or this community because veganism is the foundation, like the pillar, the center stone of Raw Alignment. And that's not true. I can understand how one may think that if perhaps you came to my channel 4 years ago and I was sharing a lot of videos about the food that I was eating, but it has been many years since that has taken place. Raw Alignment has always been about spreading love to as many people as you possibly can and about growing and expanding as a human being and trying new things.
That and blaming others for not telling her viewers sooner, basically saying it was peer pressure because people had been asking her not to constantly post about every new diet that she was trying, you know, to her impressionable viewers, that we're the reason why she didn't tell people that she was no longer vegan. And again, still making money off of the diet that she claims made her so sick. So yeah, it's hard to be sympathetic, but I think we should. Someone who seems to really believe that extreme dieting is a good thing, is just a way to challenge yourself, to be open-minded. It's actually a way to connect to people. That's really sad. Volunteering, like volunteering with people, that's how you connect to people in a meaningful way. Eating steak and bacon for 30 days or eating almost exclusively fruit for years, that's something that obsessive people do, or probably self-obsessed people do. It's the antithesis of learning about the world and other people and relating to other people. I mean, virtually no one eats only animal products or only fruit. And obviously it's a very privileged thing to be able to do. Most people they could never afford living on only animal products, and they also couldn't afford living on only fruit. I mean, maybe she means she's just trying to connect to other people who are into extreme dieting. Well, yeah, I guess she's achieving that goal. Challenging yourself, getting out of your comfort zone is great. I don't think anyone would deny that. But most of us don't think of juice fasts and meat only and no shampoo for 30 days when we think of like meaningfully challenging ourselves. That's silly shit that you do to get views on YouTube. It's not like meaningful betterment stuff. Great sentence. I think when we think of meaningful challenges, we think of like learning a new skill or, trying to become more social if that's something we have a problem with, or even health related things like, trying to get 10,000 steps a day, which is actually bullshit because of course it is. So I said self-obsessed, and I think you really get that from her brief discussion of factory farming. There's like no mention of animal welfare. It's all about her, right? It's all about the effect that eating these animals will have on your body.
There are many horrors of how animals are treated within factory farming, and when we consume sick and mistreated animals, we as a result are way more likely to get sick ourselves.
And it's all just a lead up to an ad for a grass-fed beef company or box or something. Cool. She also talks about weight loss, that she lost a couple of pounds after the 30 days. She shows this side by side where she looks exactly the same to me, other than just the before. In the before one, she's like closer to the camera.
My physique changed slightly, but nothing too crazy. I mostly just felt more lean and more comfortable in my body, so that was definitely a plus for me.
Again, it's not even 2 pounds. It's like 1.5 pounds. She is very small, so like that, 1.5 pounds for her, it's going to be a lot different than 1.5 pounds for me, but that's still very little weight. I have a hard time believing that she can actually feel the difference. And she makes no mention of the obvious fact that she didn't need to lose any weight, that she's clearly already at a healthy weight. I really think this is something that we need to be more careful about. I've called myself fat, like jokingly in the past, even the recent past, and I'm not going to do that anymore because, there are people who do actually think I'm fat and like promote that, and I do not want to be a part of that. I have a normal BMI, I have a great cardio fitness score or whatever the hell, according to my Fitbit. I really don't want to give the impression that in order to be healthy, you have to be like stick thin, right? Or you have to have a certain stomach or a certain like whatever. I think it's really horrible. I know intimately the effect that has on people, and I don't want to be a part of that. So I'm glad that Alyse didn't say something like, yay, I lost weight. That's good. But I do wish that she had been clear that like she didn't need to lose weight. It's totally unnecessary. And I think to question herself when she says that she actually feels leaner and more comfortable after losing that little weight.
I hope that you enjoyed watching this little experiment of mine and feel inspired to challenge yourself and expand your perspective. Because hey, what is life really about if we aren't having fun and trying new things?
If restricting your food intake to like 5 foods, if supporting the death of sentient beings If those things are fun to you, I don't know, you might want to broaden your horizons a little bit, you know? Take a class at your local college. Take a salsa class. Like, just do something, anything, please. I hope she gets better. You know, honestly, I think she looks a lot better than she did a few months ago, whenever it was. I'm sure she's getting a lot more calories, obviously a lot more protein. Clearly, the diet that she was eating, the particular vegan diet that she was eating, was terrible for her. There's no doubt about that. I just wish she could see how skewed her thinking is and finally come to accept the role that she plays in the dietary choices of her viewers, and really take this comment to heart and actually try a balanced diet. Fun little aside, I got this Fitbit. My dad was like flexing on me. Did I just say flexing? Oh God, I'm old. He's had one for like a long time, I think. And you know, he just said something in passing like that it will send him like, you walked the length of the whatever for the month. And he's like, yeah, you know, I always hit the 10,000 a day. That's not a problem. And he was just telling about all his little emails that he gets. And it was so funny. Like, he definitely didn't mean it in like a, wow, look how fit I am. But just the way it came across to me was so funny. I mean, obviously I'm really happy. My dad's like so fit and walks all the time and walks his dog. It's incredible. Point is, he inspired me to get one, and I waited till this is the Inspire HR, I think. This one was on sale for like $65, $69, which is pretty good. And I really like it. I like data. And I've been really surprised how many steps I actually do take. I average, I think, like 8,000 a day or something like that, which is pretty damn good. I was reminded because of the 10,000 thing, you know, of course the Fitbit's like, hey, you should try to get the 10,000, you know. I was just like, that's bullshit. I just know it is. It's going to be based on like one study. It's worse than that. Dr. Lee discovered that the origins of the number go back to 1965 when a Japanese company made a device named Mampoke, that's 100% accurate, which translates to 10,000 steps meter. The name was a marketing tool, but since the figure has become so ingrained in our health consciousness, it's often the default setting in fitness trackers, she wanted to see if it had any scientific basis for health. And you can see here, sedentary women average 2,700 steps a day. Women who averaged 4,400 daily steps had a 41% reduction in mortality. Mortality rates progressively improved before leveling off at approximately 7,500 steps per day. There were about 9 fewer deaths per 1,000 person years in the most active group compared with the least active group. And as they say here, this is Harvard Health, that this is 25% fewer steps than the 10,000 step goal. Now, again, this is just one study. This doesn't mean that we should have 7,500 as like the goal, but like this is the evidence that we have. The 10,000, I can't believe it doesn't even come from a little pilot study or something. It comes from a Japanese company. It's just a marketing gimmick. Amazing. You can't help but laugh. But also it's really bad because then people get these stupid things and they notice they only get 6,000 a day and they're like, oh my God, I'm 4,000 short. When in reality, no, like you're actually still doing a great job. I mean, what was sedentary in this study? 2,700. That is very little. You know, that's like really, you know, you're not moving a whole lot. I think if you're doing even a little bit more than that, that's huge, right? So they say here, if you're sedentary, add 2,000 more daily steps so that you average at least 4,400 daily steps. People are more likely to achieve that, right? I mean, it's like the go vegan thing. For some people, it gets in your head and you feel like you can't do that, so you don't do anything. It's like 10,000 steps. Man, that's like really, really hard. You know, I'm running around with kids all day. I don't hit that. I hit like 12,000 one day, and that's because I like worked out, took them for a walk, and then also went shopping for like 3 hours or something. You know, it's like not a typical day for me. So I can see people hearing that 10,000, maybe they get a tracker and they see that they only get 3,000 steps a day, 4,000 steps a day. It's like, oh my God, you know, I'm already doing so many other things, like screw it. I might as well not even try. Anyway, this is fun. I have for the most part enjoyed it. I love just I love just seeing, ooh, I got 7,839 steps. And of course, it's not super accurate. If I just do this, I'll get a bunch more steps, right? Oh, no, I didn't. I'm totally lying. Wait a minute. What? I don't know why I think this will be the answer, but... Oh my god, it's not giving me more steps. What's happening? Are you broken? What if I punch? Oh, that's making my arm flap go crazy. It's not giving me more steps! Maybe this is more accurate than I think. If I pretend I'm walking. Oh, that worked. That did it. So I can just sit here. Although that is like movement. I'm gonna get tired, like real quick. Oh yeah, that gave me some steps. I'm not advocating that you get one of these. They're totally unnecessary. I do like that it, estimates your like cardio score or whatever they call it. It's kind of like a VO2 max thing, but obviously just like a little estimate, that's pretty fun. But yeah, they're not necessary at all. And obviously certain people like should not get one of these if you tend to be obsessive with your health or calories or something like that, right? It's like probably not a great thing, but I'm having fun with it. This was also supposed to be a Christmas present. But then I realized I'm an adult. I can just wear this now. Why do I have to wait till Christmas? I bought this with my own money. The shirts too. Like I was gonna wrap them up and everything. It's like, no.